Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite written Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. Yes, folks, today is going to be a blast of some fun. We were already geeking out in the green room, so this is going to be spectacular. And of course, we are coming straight from Garden State Comic Fest. Right, Paul?
We were there yesterday for a whole weekend. It was awesome.
Dude, that was an amazing convention. You were tabling, with your time enforcers. What did you think?
I thought it was one of the better events I've attended. First off, it was at a new venue, which was awesome. It was the Cody Arena in West Orange. And the organizers of this event are just incredible. They really, pulled together a very big attended event. I mean, the crowds coming through were great, but not only that, but the vendors and the artists there are just amazing. I mean, it's such a great opportunity to meet so many different people. And I really look at this as a great opportunity to really network and really get to know new people in the industry. So that's totally awesome. And meeting the people that attended, it's great. I mean, we really had an impact, I think, on families, especially. I mean, Time Enforcers is really geared for, gamers of all ages, but it's really great for kids. And when you tell parents, an opportunity to, provide a video game to a kid that actually helps them learn history, they just slap it up. They love it so much. So we just I was in cosplay myself as C.T. Huggins. My wife's dressed up as Amelia Earhart, and we just engaged so many people. The cosplay really, I think, draws people into the booth, and it's just they realize how much fun you're having, so they want to have fun too, which is really cool. I just really great time. Yeah, it's great. It's always great seeing Raphael, so it's really cool.
Your booth was really jumping. Every time I turned around, you had like a bunch of people in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would walk away. Normally, those shows, I like to walk and visit the artists and try and engage with them, and I had no time. It was crazy. I mean, it was busy all the time we were there, which was a lot different than last year. So it was really great in terms of that effectiveness for what we had for a show. I mean, it's one of the better shows that I attended, so I really enjoyed it. And like I said, for the artists that I did meet, we really hit it off. I mean, everyone is just so great. I mean, I try to, have this ongoing thing. How would you draw a Time Enforcer's character? And everyone I talk to about it, they want to be involved with it. And I just really like doing that because it helps promote the artists who do the drawings and gives me an opportunity to see how people interpret my interpretations of the characters. So that's really even more fun for me. So it's pretty cool.
Too much fun. Look at that.
That's my wife, Mary. She did a great job. It was really awesome.
I gotta say, and dude, that fidget is fantastic. Game of Tunes did a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. It's just like I was joking with Stefanie before the show, but it's like CradleCon was really cool. I really had a great time there and met some really great creatives. I mean, we had Russ from Game of Tunes who helped design a new fidget for us for the Inquisitor, which is awesome. A lot of people liked it. We sold a bunch of those, which is great. Then we met with Shadow Rabbit and engaged with him, and he designed this awesome statue of Kaizen for us. It has to be 15 inches tall, made out of clay. It was just amazing, and kids were coming up. I think it really having that type of interpretation of what the game is outside of just the prints that I do or even the artwork that I have available really expands people's knowledge of the game. So it's really awesome. I mean, we also debuted our character. Oh, that's the fidget there, which is wrong. Really neat. I mean, I was had in my pocket, playing it the whole time. And then we introduced it. That's the statue there, which is really cool. And it's like, you can accessorize it with the sword or not. So you can pull the sword out. So it's kind of neat. But no, we introduced a new character too. I mean, we have Detective Nico Time, who's going to be part of episode 2 that I'm currently working on right now. He's a character that I came up with for sort of the film noir aspect of the detectives from the 30s and the 40s, the Sam Spades, the Philip Marlowes, and he is going to be cast in grayscale into the game, and whatever color object he touches is going to turn to grayscale. So that's one of his powers that he has. The other one is he has a magnifying glass. It's called the Gumshoe Debilitator. So gumshoe meaning detective, and then he spits out globs of bubble gum at the enemies to incapacitate them. So, it's just it's always fun trying to figure out ways to make these weapons fun for kids without making them too violent. And people really, I think, appreciate that. I mean, it's kind of fun. How do I twist things around a little bit to really put a new twist on things? So it's really cool. I like it a lot.
There you go, twist around.
Yeah, that's a fidget. You didn't put the volume up though. It's got the theme song.
Oh, we got to hear the theme song.
Yeah, the theme song. There you go. Russ is so happy. He's like, Paul, I got you to my theme song. It's like, awesome, man. I made the big time.
Oh my God, it's such a cute little theme song. It reminds me of that stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's a blast, and I'm gonna have him do. I mean, Chronolithu is like the the evil guy. You can see him over my shoulder. He's got a big green head, so I think he's gonna be the next one because we'll have this big bulb of a head as a fidget. It'd be awesome.
I can see it now.
Yeah,
it's on our shirts. Well, yeah, that's right. I'll put that picture up too. Hold on.
yeah, I'm wearing the shirt too. It's like, yeah, you put the Three Amigos up or no? I thought that was great.
Hold on, I'll put it right up. Let me just go find it where it is. There it is.
There we go. Look at these dudes. You can turn the music on, man. The music's great. It's so inspiring.
Wait. I gotta be careful what music I put on.
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's royalty free. I don't get.
Oh, okay.
I never get copyright.
You say that, but then YouTube goes, we give you a strike.
No, you're not gonna get a strike for my stuff. There's no way. I always attribute to my copyrights. There you go. It's so cool. We had such a good time. I mean, Blake was there. He launched his new book for Philandra, which was awesome. I picked up a couple copies. I mean, Keith Williams did one cover, and Ava Schrager did another. I mean, it was just a great time. It was
such a great con.
It's just seeing people engage and and all these creatives coming together and just putting out the best talent they have. It amazes me. I'm always flabbergasted by how much people really put in these efforts for these creations they do. It could be either an author, could be an indie artist, and it could be, the guy introduced me who does the dice for games. That was incredible, his artwork that he has.
Getting dice
going on for that.
That's
amazing, So,
yeah. The guys from Allison, the guys from It's Getting Dicey, they find the most incredible dice, the most amazing dice, the most amazing D&D stuff. They're the guys that you're like, oh, this dice, and they go, this one.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love them, and they got their dog Jedi, who's usually hanging out with them.
Aww.
Cute dog as a button.
It's really funny. And speaking of cosplay, I mean, that's the other reason why I like going to these shows. I mean, seeing the time and effort these people put in these costumes is incredible. I mean, of course, we had the Fallout gang there. With Abigail and everybody, but it was just aside from that, I saw so many kids come up. There was one woman, she had done Matt Murdock, and she looked exactly like him. It was incredible.
Wow.
She had the rose-colored glasses. She was dressed up in the black suit, and she even had the cane. I knew instantly Matt Murdock. It was great. My wife looked at me, like, how did you know that? It's like, please stop. I know that. How do you not know that? That's the question.
That's a good question. Oh man, yeah. Cool. The cosplayer, the cosplayers were in play. There was so much cosplay. But Garden State always has a lot of cosplayers. Yep.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I like it. This is the second time I've done this show, and I've done a few shows, but this is definitely one of the better ones that I've done. I mean, one, it's close to home, so it's easy to get to, but it's just the amount of talent that I see there is just all from, northern New Jersey. We got people coming in from southern New Jersey as well. And there's people coming in from New York. So it seems to draw such a large crowd from such a diverse range of areas, which makes it really cool because it's not that hard to get to. That's the other thing. I think a lot of people are able to get there pretty easily. And that's what makes it really such a cool event. And it's not like a huge thing like New York City Comic Con where it costs a ton of money to attend. I mean, as an exhibitor, it's pretty reasonable for the most part. And like I said, Dave O'Hare, who organizes this event, treats the vendors really well, I have to say. I mean, they put things together. Your spot is the way it needs to be. If you need something, they're there and help you out right away, which is really cool. So I have to say the event organizers just do a great job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great convention.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A little bit of everything there.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, and we sold a bunch of games. I mean, I think the turning point for this event especially was I had the game on the iPad. I was able to demo it, and it was amazing. I saw so many kids lighten up when they were playing this, and I would ask them, "What do you think?" And they said, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." I said, "Okay, I made it."
Yeah.
If I get a pretty cool out of a 10 or 11-year-old,
Exactly.
I've done my job.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, but no, we had it. It's even funny because I had several older adults, I'm going to say like 20, 24, and they're coming up. It's like, yeah, can I get this game? I said, sure, just download it, or we get it for sale here. And they were like buying it. It's like, this is great. I think what you clue people, it's just not a video game, but it's an opportunity to learn about history. I think they really start to realize how important that can be because, for the most part, our experience in learning about history from school can be really boring, or it's like just memorizing dates. And it's not the same. I mean, history is really cool if you really get down to the nuggets of, yeah, these people lived before us. They experienced some really cool stuff. And what's wrong with hearing about their story? I mean, we hear about stories about people all the time who live now, but why can't we hear stories about people that lived 200 years ago, 5,000 years ago? I mean, there are so many interesting stories to hear about that. It's just amazing. I mean, I think the best thing I found with this project, to be honest with you, is the research that I'm doing for the characters that are going into the game. One of the characters I found was Benjamin Banneker, who is an African-American. He lived during the American Revolution. He actually knew Thomas Jefferson, but he was actually a guy who had no training, and he invented the first wooden clock in the colonies, it blew my mind. This guy was a genius, if you get right down to it. And he also was a surveyor for Washington, D.C., so he actually sited the site where they're going to build the capital of our nation. So I'm just finding so many tidbits of this going on, and the more I talk with people about this, the more I find out truly how many different people in history can be brought to light that we normally don't see or even read about in history class in school. I mean, I was on a show a few weeks ago with Raphael, and we're talking with Lou, and I can't remember the gentleman's name from California who has a powwow.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I'll figure out the name in a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. But just saying, they had Native American background. I said, I got to tap
Joey
these
Cliff.
people.
Joe Cliff.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's incredible. I mean, thinking about, the culture, the different ethnicities of people that have come to our nation. And not only that, around the world, and exposing kids to this information, I think it just broadens our scope of understanding and hopefully make people more tolerant, of other people. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal, is to educate people, educate kids, and let them know, yeah, it's okay to be different, and here's the reason why. Everyone's their own unique individual, but, we have a lot to learn from one another. And that's really one of the goals that I have with this game is really to break those barriers down. And, not only make it interesting for kids to learn, but want them to go out and learn on their own as well. So it's really cool.
Super cool.
Nice.
Thanks.
And it's funny because, as usual, that leads right into you, Allison. And, why don't you tell the people all about you? Give them the spiel. Go for it.
Sure. Well, on the kids table, our goal is to make D&D more accessible for kids and their grown-ups. So we produce an actual play campaign series with kids actually at the table. It's currently halfway through the second season, so you can jump onto that on YouTube. We also have a podcast called Area of Effect, where we discuss the many ways that playing TTRPGs can benefit kids. We have a series of short videos giving tips for how to DM with kids, because that can be quite intimidating to a lot of grown-ups. And then we produce resources on our website, which is being shown right now, like adventures, character sheets, and different support resources like that to help families get started with taking some of the extra effort and guesswork out of the game, so you don't have to homebrew something right from the start until you kind of get the hang of how it's played. So we have campaigns for kids as young as 3 years old, and then into the teens.
Oof.
I really wish I had this when I was growing up with my kids,
Exactly.
Allison, because I have done D&D with my kids, and I was kind of like playing the way I thought I could play, but having this kind of a resource would have been awesome, and I think it could really, have engaged them even more, which is really cool.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, if only we'd gotten started a few years earlier. Yeah.
And it's funny though, because I like all the stuff you're saying, but it's also the same way for adults. These things, the game itself is very beneficial to adults. It has a lot of resource to help people out, especially if they're dealing with things. It's a good place to relax, to deal with issues. And a lot of people do that. And it's funny because as a DM, people like to come in and go, I'm going to play a character that's totally different than me. And then you sit there and then watch them play the character and put the character together, and you're like, this is you.
Yeah.
And it's a good way for them to be able to sit there and actually play things out that they're probably going through and make it easier. I find there's so many benefits to it, and I think that it's been villainized for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I had a little bit of a late start because of the whole satanic panic movement when I was younger. But I got started in around 2010, 2011 playing D&D and fell in love with it quickly and realized it was quite harmless.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that. I remember that as a kid.
Oh, definitely.
It's like it was like huge about demonology and evil, and it's like, what are you talking about? It's been around, this type of fiction's been around forever. Why is it so bad now that you're going to play it as a game and try and use your imagination? God forbid.
Yeah, if you're interested in learning more about why that happened, where it all clicked for me was actually there's a podcast by Q Code called Dungeon Masters. Will Wheaton is the narrator in it, and it kind of dramatizes the start of D&D, but with real factual events in there, and you'll understand by the end why everything kind of got convoluted in the media and kind of blew up, and parents got afraid of it when it wasn't really the whole story and the true story. So
it was so funny because I was playing around that time, and you would sit there and listen to what they were saying, and then you would sit there and look at the game, and you're like, "The hell are you watching?"
Yeah. Well, the thing we say, because we do have some parents with concerns who that's all they've ever heard about, but we just say it's a set of rules that allows you to tell a collaborative story. So you can tell whatever story you want to tell. I mean, if you want to tell a really dark and harmful, perpetuating stereotypes and those kinds of stuff, you could, but I've never seen anybody do something like that, right? In our games, we're always the heroes trying to bring more light and bring more right into the world and to come to the aid and lift up other people's voices. So it's just a set of rules. You can tell whatever story you want.
Yeah. I feel like once people villainize something, they just want to stick with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Come on, you. And then I gotta say, your videos really help out with all that because, if anybody has any worries, just watch a couple of your videos with the kids, and those worries will get out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a far cry from whatever the people were saying was happening in the game.
Let's see. Let me show one off. Which one should I show off?
From that page.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is relevant. Do the kids can handle dark themes done well?
Oh, cool.
However you deem fit to get rid of my cousins, Queen Pancham and Queen Daria, I'll leave that up to you.
So are we in agreement then? Or you're just dismissing us?
He is dismissing you. He has given you the task of getting rid of the other two queens.
In exchange,
he will let you in the library.
I find him to be greedy and not trustworthy. And the fact that he's asking us to eliminate his cousins
and want money
and take our money tells me that he might not be trustworthy with the secret of the codex.
The farms are controlled mostly by the Green District. If archways are shut,
you could probably stop.
The people of this part of the city would starve.
It's great though. You guys got to see it. I've seen a couple of videos now. But like I said, this actually showcases, and it's stuff that we do need even now. Even though D&D is more mainstream now, it's more. This is the kind of stuff that starts to showcase how different it is than what people think it is.
Yeah. And there's so much variety out there now. Like look
Yeah,
at all the different series that Dimension 20 has done and how
exactly.
differently flavored they all are, and Adventure Zone, and there's so many like kids offshoot TTRPGs that don't use the 5e rules, but like there's D and Doggos. There's one where you play as baby dragons. Like there's so many different things out there to suit any theme and interest.
I gotta say, there's a bunch of stuff out there that even the adults go, I want to play that.
Oh yeah, we get people all the time who are like, I need this for my adult campaign, and we're like, great, go for it, especially if they're beginners.
I want to be a cute woodland creature.
Yeah.
I found it really cool though, Allison, that you're bringing in like themes for life to the kids and like introducing them. How would you handle this? And asking questions instead of like teaching them, no, you shouldn't do this, and this is why. This is like, you're saying, here, what do you think? It's causing them to really understand a situation and then try and figure out what you need to do. That's really cool. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You think
Exactly. We call it like a low risk environment for exploring all kinds of things like identities, social skills, confidence, verbal processing, critical thinking. Like, because if you fail, you can kind of say it was the dice's fault or it was your character. It doesn't feel so personal, right? As like
the crit, damn it.
I mean, if you're trying to do a cool jump in the air and land in a 3-point landing and you fail in D&D, you just laugh it off. If you try to do that at school and you faceplant in front of your friends, right? That's going to be a lot harder to laugh it off. So that's why I think it's such an excellent tool for exercising and growing and strengthening these skills until you gain the confidence to translate them into the real world.
Yeah.
It also showcases though, like the incident you're saying that this is the possibilities. Like if you're gonna do something like that, and I think D&D is really good at it, because when you fail, you fail.
Yeah.
So it's that moment of, if I do this in real life, it can go this bad.
But they do learn resilience from that, because we always tell kids when we have like new kid players that, we let the dice tell the story. And if the dice tell us there was a failure, it often leads to a more interesting story, because either you have to be more creative and think about an alternative solution that wasn't the most obvious one, or you have to turn to your teammates and rely on someone else to step in. Maybe this is their strength and it's not actually your strength. So you should rely on them to kind of step in that moment.
Completely agree.
I know the last time that happened, my DM threw me against a wall of Velcro, and I was in total, cloth, and I couldn't get off, and I was dead.
Oh no! Your DM's harsh.
Yeah, fucking Velcro. I was just like, okay, I'm done. I can't do anything here.
Speaking of which, our friends at Fate's End have this beautiful, if I think you guys can see there it goes. You can
it's
see
adorable.
Beautiful, my beautiful friend here, Fate's End. It's all furry creatures. And this is a kid-friendly game right here. And I got this one when they did their Kickstarter. It's called Fate's End, the company. Great book, great story, and great game. So if you guys are looking for something a little kid-friendlier that they might like get into right away because of the cute characters, and you should see the characters this game has. I like showcasing that, especially when it comes to finding an easier way to get people in, because there's also an easier way to get adults in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I know we were talking about this in the green room. It's a very daunting game system if you find the wrong place and you're told the wrong things.
Yeah.
It's big math.
Yeah.
When the kids are playing the game, do they fall into any of that? Because I know you guys make it a little more simple for them, but do they fall into the big math type of like, what the heck?
No, because that's really the DM's job when you play with kids, to like manage all that and understand the mechanics that are kind of behind the screen. With kids, we start simplified. One of the main things we do is we give them a simple character sheet, because like the full 5e character sheet, especially if you're a spellcaster, is like very overwhelming. Not even to mention like the vocabulary. If you're playing with a 6 or 7-year-old, they're not going to really fully grasp it. So we put just the most important, most often needed or used information on their character sheet in a way that's easy to find. And a nice way you can do that, even if with pre-readers, is just with symbols. Like for their AC, you draw a shield or whatever. It's pretty simple. And so we do the simple character sheet. And in the beginning, when we're first teaching kids, we just use, like, we have a series called 15-minute D&D, which is for like ages 3 to 8, because their attention span can be as short as 15 minutes. But it's a series. So if they can handle more, you can do 30 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever they can handle. But so in that system, we just use a D20 and then we use a D6 for damage, and that's it. And we slowly, in the first series, we just do the D20 and the D6. And then each series, which is a set of 5, we introduce a new mechanic. So like we introduce advantage and disadvantage, and we introduce like support actions like healing and bless and stuff like that. And so like kind of slowly over time, we introduce each new concept until they kind of get to the point of being able to play full 5e.
I like it. I like the fact that you guys are there through the whole thing, which is what we're supposed to do with the adults as well. You know, but I've been in some games where you got a new player, which is one of the reasons a lot of new players don't end up staying, is that you'll get these groups and they throw the person in and they don't help them at all. It's like, oh, you'll get it, you'll figure it out. And
yeah,
how are you guys doing, man? This guy just got.
Yeah,
cannon fodder, right? It's just setting them up so he can, like,
exactly,
dead meat for the game. It's like, yeah, we killed him, cool.
Yeah, my first game was Pathfinder, and a friend I was visiting was introducing me to it, and I'd never played a tabletop role-playing game at all, and he walked me through the character creation, which took like 3 hours just to create the character before we even sat down at the table. Especially, and I was like, what is happening? I don't even know.
Especially on Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is a little more rule heavy.
Yeah. A little more nitty gritty.
Yeah, because when they moved on to 4, which nobody talks about anymore, the guys were like, I think we need to stick with 3. So they stayed in that 3.5 range. And 3 was very complicated.
Yeah.
Good game, but very complicated.
Yeah.
And 3.5, you just upped it a bit. And there's people out there going, what are you talking about, Rife? 3, 3.5, 4, 5. That's where we are now, 5e, folks.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, man. I got to say, I ran into your stuff. And I went through a couple of videos, and that's when I hit you up, because I was like, I gotta have these guys on the show. I gotta have them talk about what they're doing. So folks, this stuff is engaging, and I like what it is, and I like the fact that you're building on it. You're having your podcast, you're having the whole thing, and again, I feel like it's also an intro to adults that might need an easier intro and might be afraid to ask for it. Because I've seen that before, where it kind of gets overwhelming, and they sit there like, these are adults, and because I get it. It's really if you're gonna jump in like that, the game can be a lot, especially Pathfinder.
Yeah, in that situation, we usually suggest that people just watch an actual play first, and if they're a parent, they can watch. Ours is made to be kid friendly, so you can watch ours like alongside a child, and hopefully it's enjoyable to both the grown up and the kid as you watch it, or listen to it on podcast. But if you listen on podcast, you miss all the cool animations that my work partner Ryan does and spends hours on. So definitely try to check out YouTube if you can. But a lot of people, I think, start that way. They just start watching actual plays together, and then they get inspired, and they see other people just like them, like a dad or a mom just like me, a kid just like me playing it, and so they realize, like, oh, maybe we can do this.
And you're right, though. Like the best way to do it is to dive into the game itself, and kind of let the whole thing happen. Don't bog them down too much with all the stuff. And I've seen some DMs that are really good at it, where they have stuff ready for if a new player wants to come in, or like I do. I tend to be a little loose with the rules, so that the role play aspect of it, which is where most people want to play around with anyway. Some people do like the fighting and stuff, but a lot of people want to get into this whole let's have fun with it, and My way of DMing is a little looser with all that stuff. So I tell people right away, I'm like, I may not be for you, depending on how you like the game.
Yeah, we definitely play by the rule of cool, and we try to make it happen as best as we can, whatever the kids want to try to do.
Dude, I love creativity. I love when somebody goes, Ralph, this is what I want to try. And I'm like, all right, let's see how this works.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're going to roll the dice and see what happens. But yeah, sure, let's go.
Yeah, might as well try.
Exactly. And I like rewarding that type of stuff, because, especially with kids, when if they're getting that creative with it, you don't want to like stunt them, you don't want to stomp on them. You want to play it through, see where they're going with this. Let them have fun with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have 3 big rules at the table, and the third one is when the game stops being fun, we stop playing. Because I hear from a lot of grown-ups that they're like, my kids can't focus at the table, they're so bored, they can't sit still, and I'm like, well, you played too long. If they're not having fun anymore, if they're not engaged in the game, like there's no reason why you have to finish your 10-page session that you planned out right now. Take a break, walk down the street, go to the park, go shoot some hoops or whatever, come back the same day or the next day or next week. So
and that's a lesson you also learn with the adult game. There's moments as a DM where you sit there and go, we need a break.
Yeah.
Or I think that a game should end now.
Yeah. The 72-hour straight DM.
Well, I played a couple of those.
Like it should anymore.
I played a couple of those sessions where we were there all day into the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to leave them wanting more, not regretting their decision to come over that day.
Oh man, those games weren't many. After you did it once or twice, you're like, yeah, that was fun. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
So if people want to find you and check out all this beautiful stuff, let them know where they can go and see all this. I already got the website in the comment section, but you have other places where they can go.
Yeah, we are at the Kids Table D&D on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So that's a good place to find our actual play or our DM tip videos. If you find us on your favorite podcast app, also using at the Kids Table D&D, you will get the podcast version of the campaign and also our podcast Area of Effect, where we talk about the benefits of TTRPGs and interview different kind of experts in the field on that. And then we just started a Patreon where we're working to engage more directly with community members. So that's just at patreon.com/kidstablednd. So pretty simple.
Nice.
And folks, I'm going to play one more video because you got these nice little how-to videos here in the beginning. Here we go. This is a good one. Let me put it up because Instagram likes to start right away. Hold on. There we go. Now to put it up.
Well, D&D, and this is how to play D&D in under 60 seconds.
D&D is a shared storytelling game. The Dungeon Master sets the scene, players describe their actions, and everyone rolls dice to see what happens. As you read the adventure, text in boxes are key descriptions to read aloud. Anything else is just for the DM. Character blocks will list hit points, how much damage they can take before falling, and armor class, how resistant they are to taking damage. Players make ability checks to interact with the story. The difficulty class is set higher for more difficult actions and lower for easier. The player rolls a d20 and adds the matching ability score. If they meet or beat the DC, they succeed. Either way, the DM describes what happens next. To use weapons, the attacker rolls a d20 and adds the 2-hit bonus. If they meet or beat the target's AC, they succeed and can roll damage. The adventure goes on with players taking actions and rolling, the DM describing what happens next, and repeat. Don't forget to be kind and have fun.
Hi, it's Allison.
I gotta say, that is the easiest explanation to all the stuff that you tried to explain to new players in one shot that makes it so much easier to understand. Even
That's great. Take
show
it to the new players. Yeah, I was telling Ralph earlier that it took me so many takes to get that under 60 seconds because I did it back when Instagram had the 60-second cap, and it was painful, but we finally got there.
I've done enough TikTok and Instagram and whatever videos to tell you that, yeah, it always amazes me when people go, it took you 3 days to film that? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you see 10 seconds doesn't mean we didn't spend 3 days.
Yeah.
All I know is, Allison, where were you when I was DMing? Because I've done so many things wrong.
It's not wrong. It's all right. It's a happy little accident.
Exactly. You know, you live and learn. I wouldn't be the DM I am today if I didn't make as many mistakes as I had made before.
Yeah.
I
As
can
long
tell
as
you that.
everybody at the table is generous with each other, I think that's the way to go.
Exactly.
But you're not DMing anymore? Why not?
My kids aren't
Oh,
home
okay.
anymore, so it's myself and I. So
Okay.
that's really no fun.
Yeah.
How
They
much
got new
damage is that
games
ball?
where,
We
they
roll
got
dice to
new
find out.
games where you play it by yourself.
No, it's okay. I'm doing a video game now. I'm trying to.
Sounds
build
like
a
you guys need to do
It's not for
an
me.
actual play together.
We've actually been working on that to get together and because there's a lot of Kickstarters happening now, and some of the guys who are based or D&D based, what they've been doing is adding a tier where we play with a higher DM, and we get to play our characters from our own creations. So
Neat.
it's really nice, and I've done it like 3 times now from 3 different Kickstarters, and I'm like, I like this.
Wow, cool. So
Yeah,
you write the character or draw the character,
So
and
yeah,
then
like let's say it's my teddy bear superhero Hugbert, and I
Oh.
want to play him as a character in the Dungeons and Dragons game. We'll work on it and figure out how we can make that happen. So in this one shot, I'll be Hugbert,
that's amazing.
and then
Gotta see
my other
that.
friend who has another comic book, he played his character, and the other friend played one of their characters. So, and it's interesting because again, it's another one of those places where Dungeons and Dragons actually helps you out, because role playing your character, especially as a writer, kind of helps give you new insights on the character, because you see them differently, because now you have to think like them and see how they react, how they talk, and it makes storytelling even better. Which I tell people all the time, that as a writer or a creative, D&D or role playing is a direction to go in, because it helps acting, it helps writing, it helps with so much. So, Stephanie, you have been busy because you didn't go to Garden State because you were at the Pride Parade, right?
Yes, I was at Pride yesterday. I mean, Garden Center sounded a lot of fun. So
It was
and
a lot of fun, but I have a feeling you had a lot of fun.
It was a great day yesterday.
Whew,
Oh
yeah.
no, it was beautiful, and we were worried about like the rain coming down and the humidity coming back, and yesterday was just like pitch perfect.
It's awesome. Very cool.
So, Stephanie, tell the people as I show stuff off over here, give them the spiel. Go for it, even though some people know who you are already.
Right. So I do a lot of cosplay photography. So I go around in the New York City area, going to conventions, and I shoot, take photos of cosplayers. And lately, I've been going to a lot of off-location cosplay events, such as the Pride event, and earlier this month, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, where we actually had a float. I'm part of a group called the Boricuaverse. That was founded by Flores Lily and NY cosplayers. So they're awesome people. So definitely check them out. But yeah, that's my spiel of it.
She makes it sound so simple though, but you are everywhere and oh my God, cons, parades, New York.
Yeah, and Cradle last month too.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I have to say, when I first got to Cradle, I was in the parking lot. I saw Stefanie working with one of these cosplayers. She was doing a great job of really bringing out the character in the costume they were doing. It was awesome. I have to say, I was very impressed, Stefanie. It was really cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, a lot of the cosplayers I work with, they're great. They tell me how much time they put into their cosplays. They actually do give me a little bit of a backstory, like what it means to cosplay that character.
I gotta say, I love when cosplayers do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely helps a lot more with the shoot. It just makes it feel a little bit more alive in a way.
Definitely.
Well, I
Because
think it
especially as
gets
a photographer,
it gets the person into the character they're portraying even
that
more,
too.
which is really cool.
No, it is. And I even had some requests from some cosplayers to actually call them by their cosplay name or by their character names because that keeps them present. So, and
Oh,
I always
cool.
try to make it a point to do that, especially if I'm working with like a big group that I'm just like, okay, I don't remember your name at the top of my head, so I'm just gonna call you by that character. And they tend to respond a lot quicker than their actual names.
Cool.
See, folks,
So
role playing.
exactly. So kind of not to, diminish, kind of like D&D, but like
Yeah.
just dressing up.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't
And
worry,
what a privilege.
D&Ders dress up.
And what a privilege that they, immediately trust you and have the rapport with you to like share this personal backstory of how much that character means to them. That's so cool. It's got to be so interesting.
No, it is. I hear so many cool, interesting stories all the time, especially when I go to like conventions. It's just like amazing.
Mhm. Awesome.
So how did you go down this journey? I don't think I've asked you that yet. How did you get from A to B?
It's a bit of a long story, but I've been going to my first convention was New York Comic Con, and that was back in 2009. I went there with my college publication called Serpentine. We used to get free media passes to go over there, and I like the atmosphere. I like the vibe of what Comic Con really is. So been doing that for 2 years. Graduated from college in 2011, so I was kind of on and off going to New York Comic Con for a while. But it wasn't until 2019 is when I was just, let me see if I could try to do this cosplay photography because I would always carry my camera with me just to take pictures, check out panels and stuff like that. So started out in 2019. It's like, okay, this is fun. And then had the whole shutdown, came back with full vengeance, back to New York Comic Con, and then to Anime NYC that year, actually. And then it just kind of snowballed into like not just these two conventions, but like meetups. The group that you were describing
Yeah.
at Garden State were pros and cons, and
Yep.
I shot with them as well. So, and this year we had a lot more cosplay meetups than the previous year. So, and that's very interesting. It's really cool.
I gotta say, yeah, they're amazing. Dude, they had that whole gate there as well. It wasn't like in Cradle, but it was still an amazing thing to see. And then people were
Yeah.
lining up just to take a picture with the vault.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh no, that was the main attraction.
the amount of time they put into this is just incredible. It's just wow. I mean, this is like dedication beyond belief. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, and great guys to work with too. Always a pleasure seeing them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Very fun. They make it very easy to hang out. Nobody's gatekeeping with them.
No.
Because I know that happens with the cosplay community as well, where some people get a little uppity, but these guys are great.
Yeah. And we also try to make sure that those people that are trying to gatekeep are held accountable too. So we do look out for one another for sure.
Yeah, I've seen that, especially with these guys. They actually will step in. A couple of them have actually made Instagram posts saying if you need a safe space, just come over to me, just say hey and talk to me, and we'll play along right with you. If somebody's like trying to get all creepy with you.
Yeah, I actually had that happen to me last year at New York Comic Con. That a female cosplayer, it was the first time over there. A photographer friend of mine, kind of like came up to me. We had met previously before, so we were just kind of chit chatting, and she was by herself, and she just asked, "Hey, is it okay if I call or text you if I get a little weirded out?" So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like if you feel weirded out or you feel a little bit creep out, let me know. I'll come swoop in and I'll say, hey, what are you doing with her? Get away from her." I'll put on my mean dog face.
I've wondered about that because, everybody wants to take a picture with you, and if it's a character they like, I don't know, people seem to feel like they have permission more than they would in
They
real
think
life.
they do, but you
Mhm.
always have to ask consent. And even with
Yeah,
someone like me that's been doing it for a hot minute, I always ask consent.
Oh
great.
yeah,
Like I could be in the middle of Java Center. There could be like maybe 10 photographers taking a photo of a cosplayer. I will wait until that cosplayer looks at me and asks for permission. Like I am that patient enough to do it.
That's
that's
awesome.
the
And
right
that's why
thing
they
to
trust
do.
you.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yes.
just polite. It's just being polite and being respectful, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's what you need to
It's cosplay etiquette 101. So
do. Mhm.
It is. Even when I'm running around and I'm catching videos and pictures here, I will be like, I'll jump in on somebody else doing it because sometimes it's easier. But I thank them, and I'll be like, no problem. Yeah, sure, no, go ahead. Because you have to. You just can't like not ask permission.
yeah.
And then you get people who are like, oh, but it says it right there in the thing that you're going to be recorded in there, so I'm like, that's just a general warning, so that when you walk into the convention, there's something you're going to be recorded because the whole thing is being filmed or this thing's happening there. It doesn't. That's not the permission, right?
No. You always still have to ask regardless. You always have to ask.
Yes, folks, always ask. Because it's so funny to me, because if you were on the street and you saw somebody and they had a cool outfit on or something, you wouldn't just go up to them and take a picture.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't shove my lens in front of somebody's face to
Exactly.
do that. I would just like, excuse me, I actually like your outfit. Can I take the quick snap of it? And they're like,
Exactly.
sure, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the same thing you got to do when you're at a convention.
Yeah. Just ask. Sometimes majority of the time they will say yes. Other times like, no, thank you. And you just have to leave it alone. Like
Yeah.
I've heard instances where cosplayers that they do say no and people just kept persisting. And
Oh,
that's when it
definitely.
starts getting a little concerning. Just like, okay, where's security?
Yeah, and sometimes the cosplayers are having lunch, taking a break. They've had a busy day.
Yeah.
If they say no at that moment, you might ask them later, and they might say yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If it more or less is like if you could find me later and half the time like you do. So
Yeah,
yeah. The key thing is I just keep moving. You might find something just as interesting or even more interesting later.
exactly. Yeah, especially at a convention. If you get them, you get them. You don't get them, you don't get them. I mean, these are the same people that you see like later on anyway. Like, if you go to the conventions enough times, you see the same people.
Yeah, exactly. And I always tell photographers that have questions about like how I do things or what how I take photos, and I tell them first thing, you're not going to get everyone. It is impossible. You're just going to get the ones that you find interesting or you find
Yeah,
cool, and that'll be more than enough for you.
but you have to be discerning. The more we do this, the more I do this, the more years I do this. Well, this is our 10th year. The more years I do this, the more I'm like, you can't capture everything. You can't like, there's times where I'm at a convention and I'm like, how did I miss that? But you're so busy with everything you're doing that it kind of gets to the point where you have to figure out, what am I going to chase? What am I going to do? What am I going to cover? And then make a plan.
Exactly. Kind of like what happened with this weekend with Garden State, because I was asked to do Pride way before I was asked if I was going to go to Garden State. I was like, I can't do Garden State. I already said yes to this commitment. So it's tough choices that are like that, that you just like, you wish you could split yourselves in like 3 or 4 parts. And, even that it feels like it's not enough.
It's sensory overload. I mean, there's so much going on. It's like, how do you really focus on what it is you need to do? I mean, even while you're at the event, it's just like, I feel like I'm always like bombarded with information coming in visually, auditorily. It's just like, it's a multi-sensory experience. And like, holy crap, what do I focus on first here? It's really hard,
Yeah,
So
exactly. And I think it's even more so like, you know, when convention season starts and like your first major convention happens to be like a very big one, it could be very overstimulating. That it could just be like, okay, I just kind of want to crawl into the hole and hide out there for a couple of hours before I venture back out again.
I wasted more time trying to find my son at New York City Comic Con than I did visiting artist booths.
Yeah.
It's like, let's meet up here. It's like, okay, I'm here. Where are you? Oh, I'm on the other side of the building. I said, you can't.
Yeah.
That's one of the conventions I always give a warning for is New York Comic Con, because that can get overwhelming really quick.
Totally.
I had my little cousin. He went last year on Thursday, and even Thursday was just like packed. And I think I spent maybe about like half an hour to 40 minutes just looking for him just to meet up because his grandmother couldn't go with him. So it was just like, all right, let me meet up with him. Let me see how he's doing. So, and I just kept checking in on him, but it literally took like 40 minutes because that's how crazy packed it was. And on a Thursday.
Especially New York Comic Con, because it's the whole Javits. Everybody thinks that when you're in New York Comic Con, it's all of Javits. They utilize every bit of Javits, and Javits is like 6 to 7 blocks long and longer, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a huge convention hall, especially with the new building that they open up after they lifted restraints too. So it's even more crazy. The one thing that I am kind of thankful for that they're not doing is not holding panels at Madison Square Garden or Hammerstein
I
Ballroom.
remember that. Oh, you have to like track halfway across.
That's gotta be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Dude, you had to track it halfway across the city.
Walk the convention
And then
floor
try to
and
get
walk
back
5 blocks over
to New York Comic Con,
No
and you
way.
would miss things because because you had to go all the way over there. You'd miss half the convention, especially if you had a 1-day ticket.
Oh yeah, I think
Fine.
people stopped. I think they stopped that when they realized, like, yeah, this is too overwhelming.
Oh my God.
Allison, have you hit the conventions yet? Because I figured you guys should be hitting the conventions.
You know what? The hard part, you're right, we should, but I have a 5 and 7-year-old, and Ryan has a 6 and 10-year-old. So it's so hard for us to travel and get away. You know, and my husband, he was on call like 50% of the time. So even if it's like on the weekend when normally he wouldn't be working, there's like a 50% chance that he is. So I don't know. We haven't quite figured that out yet. So I go to the ones that are
a great place for you to get the word out.
I know. I go to the ones that are driving distance from me. He'll go to the ones that are driving distance from him. But we were talking about going to Gen Con this year because a lot of our like contacts and partners are there. But we decided to wait one more year because we have a big Kickstarter coming out in the spring. So we'll just go when that's like live and ready to go. So
nice.
That's time to go.
Yeah. So that's the plan, just because that's like the biggest one, and they tend to have some kid D&D related.
Oh, definitely.
Subsets. We've found that we've been figuring out which cons have like a kid focus and which ones don't. And that's like key important for us specifically.
Very important, you know, and I'm glad that you're saying that, you know, because I feel like a lot of the people out there, again, it's another one of those things where they go, what do you mean there's a difference? There's a difference, folks. You know, New York Comic Con may be family, but at the same time, you got to be careful because it's New York Comic Con.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to 2, I'm in the Tampa area. I went to 2 conventions down here. One of them had almost no kids. The other one was like overrun by kids. And you know, the key thing was kids under a certain age were free. So that's why. Yeah. And also the second part is they had certain panels that were like specifically for like parents whose kids want to get into cosplay and how do you support them with that and stuff like that. So you could see that they were like thinking about parents. Like they had a nursing mother's room, which like oftentimes a con won't have that. And then you don't want to bring your baby because you're not sure what the situation's going to be like. And the baby's, it's too loud for the baby to focus on eating and all that kind of stuff. So you can tell if they think through that kind of stuff. So the second con that did have a lot of kids, I just printed off one of our 15-minute D&D things, and I brought baggies of like D20 and D6 because you need to bring the game. And like all the parents, I just was like, do you want to play D&D with your child? And everybody, of course, says yes because it's free. So I would just like hand it to them. And I was done with them in like less than an hour, and I thought I had enough for the whole day.
Wow.
That's, you know why? Because everybody likes the clickety clackities.
Yeah. Let the kids pick which color dice they want.
Exactly. Even if you don't want to play D&D, you see the dice, you go, ooh.
Yeah.
That's why those dice dealers do so well in the conventions, is because everybody passes by and goes,
I know. They're so
Yeah.
pretty. They're
They are really slick, I have to say.
oh.
Very
I
slick
picked
indeed.
I picked up a nice dice set when I was at ColossalCon East last year. So yeah, they're very pretty. And a
Stephanie
lot of
got
them
hooked
that they're
too, I'll tell you.
yeah, trying to get hooked onto it. I think at one point I did see like some that were made out of tiger's eye, and they look really cool.
Oh, the gem ones. Those are the
Yeah.
expensive ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they get you. It's like, we got these.
Yeah.
And then you sit there, I'm not
I
supposed
want
to
the
roll
loaded
those.
ones. I want the loaded one. It gives me a crit every time I roll it.
Yeah.
You got the ones now that light up when you roll them.
Oh, he's still
Someone gave us those for free, and our team that's on our show was like obsessed with them. They're so cool.
Because it's fantastic. Look, it's lighting up.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's when the child comes out in you. It's like, woohoo.
Yep.
Pretty lights.
Exactly. It's like clickety clackety and pretty lights. Oh.
Can't say no.
Steph, so what are you doing next? Because I know you got a lot of plans going.
Oh boy. So I just announced my New York Comic Con and Anime NYC booking, so I'm available for that. But the big announcement is that I am going to be lead photographer for a anime convention called Anitomo, and that is happening on July 19th at Japan Village in Brooklyn.
Cool.
Congrats.
Yeah.
They
Thank
are
you.
fantastic. Anitomo is a great convention. I went there last year. It is just amazing, especially because, you know, the anime conventions in New York, like people think we have a ton of them. We really don't. We only have like 1 or 2 or 3 here, and then most of them are mixtures of anime and something else.
Right. This one is totally anime. If anything, it feels more like a anime / Japanese culture event.
Oh, definitely.
Because especially where it's being held at Japan Village, and you have all the Japanese restaurants, you have stores there, the general store that's over there. I know that they extended Book Off, so that's definitely a place to check out for sure.
I guess I gotta move to New York.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
It's a pretty cool, little slice of Japan that's right there. So, and it's only a 15-minute train ride from where I live, so easy access.
The area is called Industry City, and if you want to get lost, forget about the convention. If you want to get lost, you go to Industry City, and they have a little Japan Village. They have all these beautiful foods. They have comic books. They have it's become this thing. And I love the fact that they're doing conventions there now, because now you got the convention, and you know how sometimes you're at some place and it's a 2-in-1. So you got the convention, but at the same time it's a whole other place. So you don't have to just stay in the convention. You can go do something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same reason I love CradleCon, because it's a cradle of aviation and it's a convention.
People could check out the museum while also attending at a con.
Exactly. Yeah, you can see it just by what we're showing here. There's so much there. It's so funny because it's like you're looking at it and going, "Oh, this is all in the convention." No, this is the area.
Yeah,
but it's part of the convention.
And just seeing like that little montage of food right there just make me hungry, and I just eat really too.
Yep.
Dude, I was just thinking about the food area there, and I'm like, maybe I should go this week sometime.
Oh no, I love ordering the yakisoba noodles over there. Those are so good.
Can't go wrong.
But yeah, it's a free anime convention. It started 3 years ago, actually, and this would only be the second year that it's going to be at Japan Village. The first inaugural year happened at the Brooklyn Public Library in downtown Brooklyn. So, and that day, I vividly remember that it was like the hottest day yet. And I just didn't want to leave the library at all because it was nice and cool.
I forgot that they did a couple of conventions at that library.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a great start off for it. And then hearing last year that it was going to be at Japan Village and then announcing that it's going to come back again. And she's like, this is great. This is awesome.
I see Vinny there. Vinny's fantastic. See, folks, look at this. There's so much stuff happening here. There's so many things going on. This is a convention where you're going to get a lot of good stuff.
Yes, for sure.
And the organizers, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, Eileen is amazing. Like, I can't say anything bad about her other than that she is a strong powerhouse woman that just loves anime next to the next person. So she wanted to bring it to life. So, and this is her baby.
Yeah.
Aw.
She was supposed to be here today. She's not feeling well. Eileen, I hope you feel better. But she'll be here next week, Monday. So, there you go.
Hi, Eileen. I miss you.
Great convention, folks. Go check it out. Industry City is a fantastic place to be, even if it's not the convention. Japan Village in Industry City is fantastic. Book Off. Dude, there's just so much to do in Industry City, and that's without the convention. St. Mark's Comics. All the breweries and the alcohol. So much, folks.
They get a blacksmith too. We saw that the last time.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
The
last time we were there, I was like, "Whoa! You can make your own sword."
Wow.
And there is, if you want to venture out even more so, like more up north to the other part of Industry City, there is a statue of Captain America inside one of the buildings too that you could go and check out.
Cool.
Yeah, because he's a Brooklyn boy.
Yeah.
Son of Saint is like, good evening, everyone. Folks, Son of Saint is an amazing artist. You're looking for a cover for your comic book, or you're looking for a movie poster. Son of Saint does everything, and his art is fantastic. Go check out Son of Saint. I like saying Son of Saint. Andrew's saying hi as well. Andrew's a fantastic he's great with the D&D, and he's a fantastic map maker. What do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? There you go. Folks, if you're looking for a good map, I'm actually I played Vampire the Masquerade, and I have to say that I keep talking to Andrew about making the area that I had created for my game called Omega City. And me and him have been talking back and forth on it. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
I love when all our friends come and show up and say hi.
Hello.
Exactly. So let me see that you were talking about all the other stuff. Hold on. I had your thing up here somewhere. Where did I put you? There it goes.
I was about to say, like, you lost me already.
There we go. So this was coming up in August, so are you picking only a certain day to do it at, or are you because I noticed that you did the same thing for New York Comic Con where you only have one day.
You're right. So for Anime in NYC, I had a lot of people messaging me booking, way in advance. So, and I only had the Thursday slot mostly open. So that's why I only advertised Thursday. So, but New York Comic Con, I'm still taking bookings for all 4 days.
I can show that off too. Hold on. Boom.
Yes. And those are all the photos that I took of last year's sessions too.
Oh yeah, you were like on fire last year. Well, the cosplay was on fire too, so that helped.
Yeah.
But you got some great shots.
Thank you. And I had some people messaging me when they were making their booking. It's like, I'm going to do this cosplay, and I'm so excited to do it. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see it and take photos of it.
Oh.
So it's going to be fun.
So if somebody wants to do a photo shoot with you, how do they hit you up?
So they can go to my link in bio. I have 2 links for New York Comic Con and Anime NYC for a Google Calendar booking. So you could book your session through there, and then I'll get an alert.
There you go, folks. Go check it out. Go do that. Guys, give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm being hailed over here.
How many? You're doing 4 straight days of photo shoots? How many do you have each day? It sounds exhausting.
I would say I try to limit myself to at least 4 max, because last year I did at least like 5 or 6 each day, and I burned out quickly. So
Is it a
I was
whole
in.
hour?
It ranges between 20 minutes to an hour, it depending on the group size and what I like to ask my cosplayers sometimes, and especially if this is like their first photo session, bring reference photos too.
Okay,
So
nice.
that just helps them. That also gets them present in the moment too. And maybe I would say like halfway through the session that they won't need the reference photos, and they could just kind of like, freestyle however they want to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this something you coordinate with the event, Stephanie, like in terms of like finding a locale and such to shoot, or how does it work for you?
So it depends on the venue. So when I was over at Cradle, I had wanted to shoot around at the hangar, but I was told that the hangar was actually going to be closed off for the event. So I try to look for areas that is secluded, but not too secluded that cosplayers feel uncomfortable, that they're able to see walking distance of where they're at. And if they want to bring their friends, they're more than welcome to. I don't discourage that. In fact, bring your squad, cheer you on, because that just hypes it up even more.
Sure.
Yeah. So I try to look for areas that is not too populated with people, because I want to get them just in their present moment. I don't want like somebody in the background or a random truck or car just trying to whiz by, and then that's just going to be harder for me to edit out.
Well, yeah, I agree, because I look at your shots and they all look like, I'm not going to say they're staged, but they're definitely in an area where you don't have to worry about that extraneous, goings on behind someone, which is really cool because you're really focused on just your subject, which is awesome. So
Yeah. I mean, they're asking for an hours of my time to do it, so I might as well get them, the full benefit, the full range for it.
No, his stuff's just great. It looks awesome. So
Thank you.
It was a quest of epic proportions of trying to catch the cat and make him run into the house.
Oh.
Oh my God.
You got him?
I got him. He's in.
Oh
I
God.
hate when that happens.
I wasn't worried about it. I heard you guys geeking out, so I was like, okay, we're good. Oh my God. So Allison, one more time, tell them where they can find you and all the good stuff.
Oh, sure. You can find everything pretty much at thekidstablednd.com. You can find us at the Kids Table D&D on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and patreon.com/kidstablednd.
Yeah, folks, go check them out. They're doing a great job over there, and it's very entertaining. And also, if you're wanting to learn D&D, I find that it's a good way to learn it. An easier way to learn it than maybe just jumping into it.
I hope
Which
so.
is a good thing.
The monster manual alone is way too much. But so.
Oh my goodness, right? Yeah.
I remember when I first was learning that stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out and see if I can learn myself.
You just find a good DM and a good game, and you should be fine.
Cool.
A lot of cons have open tables where,
Yeah.
like in the morning, you can sign up and they've just got DMs. You can jump in and, it's a timed session, so it's not the whole day. You don't miss everything.
Yeah, you end up getting one shots which will probably be like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when we do the live, or well, not live. When we do this in D&D, I'll invite you along and you can play, which should be soon. Because everybody's like, "Come on, Ralph, let's do the game." I'm like, "Okay, we'll do the game."
Yeah, one of my favorite characters is Dragonborn. I just thought he was so cool, man.
Yeah.
Dragonborn is just like, wow, I'm a dragon. I can blow fire. I'm really cool.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Oh man, Paul, tell everybody a little bit more about all that stuff, beautiful stuff we were talking about when we were talking about Garden State Comic Fest. Go for it.
Sure, yeah. So you can get a link to our games. We're on all the app stores, so Apple App Store, Samsung Galaxy Store, Amazon App Store, as well as Steam. So it's available for the Mac, PC, iOS, and Android. And if you go to timeenforcers.com/get, you'll be able to connect to all those stores and download our game. It's a couple bucks. It's less than a cup of coffee. I know because I just bought one today and it was $4. Our game lasts longer than a cup of coffee, depending on how you sip your coffee. So we'll see how it goes. And then, on social media, we're all over the place. So Instagram, Facebook, X, as well as TikTok, and I can't remember where. Oh yeah, LinkedIn too, @TimeEnforcers. So that address will work on all our social media sites. You can find us, and I just have a blast doing social media. Our latest vid is the Three Amigos, and I just had a great time meeting Ralph and Blake, and just hanging out with these guys. They're like the best people going around the world. So it's just so much fun, seeing everyone at these cons. It's just, my wife remarked, it's like, Paul, you're really making a good group of friends here. It's amazing that you're getting into an element where you're meeting new people. I said, it's really not hard to do, being a geek myself, to really communicate with geeks and get geeks to become friends with me. So it's really cool.
And again, what's history but more role playing?
Exactly, right? So yeah, it's like Time Enforcers. I had Saving the Day one era at a time, but now it's Time Enforcers, where learning history is fun. So it's really meant to be a good experience.
Yes,
Totally.
detectives, you can help save time.
Well, I guess you may not have a choice, because Chronolith is going to take over and blow time up. That's what's going. That's what I love about comic books, which I think is missing a lot from comic books nowadays. We're too beholden to reality. It's like, no, it's time to mix things up and have some fun. And what could happen if things really went wrong? So we can see and find out. It'd be awesome.
I always
Right.
buzz me out when you're talking to a geek and they're like, I was watching that and it was not realistic. I'm like, it's a comic book movie.
I love that too. It's like, come on, man. It's not fiction then.
Oh my God, it's not realistic. It's a comic book movie. It's not supposed to be realistic.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And that's why a lot of those same people are the same ones that don't like Batman 66. Like, it's too silly. I'm like, it's not realistic.
Oh, speaking of which, I got to give a shout out. Manasquan Batman gave us this really cool placard for our booth, and I have to say, I won't mention his name because he says if he's in character, I can't use his real name. But he goes around Garden State dressed up as different cosplay, and he's the sweetest man. Manasquan Batman, he's on Instagram. Please follow him. He's such a great guy, and he's been nothing but kind to me and Mary, and I just love seeing him at that con every year. He's such a good guy. So
Wow.
yeah.
So folks, it's time for me to do a shameless plug. I
Nice.
keep telling Jorge that I keep enjoying this. His Kickstarter's not even out yet, and I keep going, oh, dude, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. And I keep making all these little jokes about it's just the perfect name. And look at this cute guy. So folks, right now what you can do, it's the best time to help out a Kickstarter is when you're doing the sign up to get notified, because it's free. You're not doing anything, you're just signing up to get notified. It helps the Kickstarter with the algorithm, because the more followers it has, the better place in the algorithm they'll be when the Kickstarter kicks off. So right now you can help out. And I think we're gonna have Jorge on the show to talk all about the shameless plug, but it won't be for a bit now. But let's get him up to the hundreds so that this whole thing can start off and this shameless plug works. Yeah, too much fun. As a writer, I love to play on words. It's one of my favorite things. Some of my favorite cartoons when I was a kid was when they would come on and do all those double innuendo words that they would use, and I have a blast. Favorite skit is Who's on First?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Third base.
Thank you.
Oh man, I think that's everything. Anything else, guys?
You can also find me on Instagram at scphotodesign25.
Yes, we were showing that Instagram out a lot. So I hope so that they know they can find you.
I have to say, Raphael, you didn't put Stefanie
Here we go with the
in
link
chat, please.
I gotta say, I'm happy you're saying it because the other guy annoys me when he says it. So.
You didn't put it in the chat, Raphael.
I'm not gonna go look for it, Ralph. You know, I'm lazy. I don't feel like following the link. You know,
Allison's there. You know, she's good. I'm there. Stephanie's not. Come on, man.
There you go. Stephanie's there too, folks.
Yay.
All those links are in the comment section. Go look these people up. Stephanie will be on the show again. Paul will be on the show again, and I know that you're going to be on the show again because you got a Kickstarter coming up, Allison.
It's true.
So I'm going to be like, Allison, come on the show. Talk all about your Kickstarter.
Perfect. Sign me up.
You got to put the link in the chat, Raphael. I'm sorry.
Exactly. All right, folks. On this show, when it ends, I got to press this button over here, and this happens. You know, folks, just because I play at the boxing and D&D doesn't mean I want to chase the cat around